Citing source material is particularly important when you are doing any sort of research. That is, when you are getting information from any source other than your brain, you need to provide credit to that source. We're going to look at what the Hacker and Summers text provides for us relative to the requirements of citing sources. First of all, we cite sources so that the reader can check the reliability or can go to the source if they want to look further into a topic. So first of all, we are giving the reader of our text information so they have access to the source that we used. And then the second thing we do is we give credit to the original source. And it's just like we borrowed something and we're saying who we borrowed it from. If we fail to do that, to give credit to that original source, we can be guilty of plagiarism. Sometimes plagiarism is unintentional. Sometimes we present others' work as if it is our own. So notice what Hacker tells us is considered plagiarism, that we don't cite quotations, direct quotes, exact words, or borrowed ideas. That is, if we summarize or paraphrase, we are also supposed to credit that original source. If we use exact language, we're supposed to put it in quotation marks, and if we are summarizing or paraphrasing, we are supposed to use our own words, which means that we put the text aside and are able to write from memory. That is, we're putting their ideas in our own words. So, why we cite source material. And then we've already looked at a little bit about what we are to cite. We are to cite direct quotations, which means things that where we borrow someone else's exact words, and we're to indicate that it is someone else's exact words through the use of quotation marks. We are to cite summaries or paraphrases. We have taken someone else's ideas and put them in our own words. We are to cite facts if they come from a specific source, statistics, visuals, whether that is a picture, an image, a chart, a graphic of any sort. We are to cite information that is controversial, that is, there is not general agreement or consensus, and any information that can be found only in a few sources. So basically, if it is something that you already know and that it is part of your working knowledge, you do not have to cite it. Otherwise, if you have had to look at a source fairly recently to get this information, then you should cite the source. That is, give it appropriate credit. And we're going to talk about what that is. When you use quoted language, one of the things that the Hacker and Summers text addresses is when we use quoted language. We use it if the language is vivid or expressive, if we need accuracy that is technical in nature, if we want the authority to speak the words, so we're quoting an authority, if we want a source to present the position of that source, or if we are analyzing the text. So that is when we use quoted material, not just when we don't have time to read it and put it into our own words. So we quote material in specific instances. We may modify that to some degree, that quoted material. We use brackets to show that we have added letters or words, and we use ellipses to show that material has been omitted from an original quote. Notice that in MLA, it is assumed that something comes before and after quoted material, so we do not include ellipses at the beginning of a quote or at the end of a quote. So why do we cite source material? If for no other reason, to avoid plagiarizing, but we also want to give credit to the original source. When do we cite? If we are borrowing someone else's exact words or their ideas, and we use quoted material in particular instances, but we may modify it in order to fit it into the context of our paper.